The very first beat is nice and simple. Then we move straight into the groove that we're going to use for our chorus throughout the song. The kick drum and snare drum stay pretty much the same, but we're going to add a bunch of accents on the hi-hats. They really stick out in the recording, so I think you should do your best to grab them just like this. From there we go back into the intro groove that we used just before in the beginning, and then from there we're going to add a few more hi-hats just to build things up a little bit. Next up we have that marching pattern on the snare drum, but there are also some timpani or floor tom hits in there as well, so I'm going to try and grab those. But that's the thing about this song, is that there's a lot of orchestral percussion going on. So I've done my best to grab as much of it as I can, but if you want to leave some of it out just to make it a bit easier, then that is totally up to you, and I think it would still sound great. But this marching snare drum bit with the floor tom goes like this. 1, 2... 1, 2... Then we are back into our chorus groove once again, and then we drop out for a bit, and the next thing that we have to worry about is the rap section. Now I think that this sounds trickier than it actually is. There are a bunch of stops and rests here and there, but if you follow along with the music, I think it will make it a lot easier. So let me play through the rap section slowly now. So it is only 8 bars, so I think if you work at it slowly, you'll definitely be able to memorize that section. Then we go back into our marching snare bit again, but this time there's quarter note snares and floor toms as well. So if you want, the easy version is to just go back and do the marching snare drum part that we already did. But if you want the advanced version and kind of building things up a little bit, this is what I've come up with. Then that brings us into the outro, which is a snare drum and floor tom pattern. It's a little bit syncopated, but once you have it down, it will be very easy. The challenge is that I can definitely hear like a big concert bass drum or something in the background, playing a pattern that's completely different to what we're doing with our hands. So if you're up for the challenge, I'll show you how to get that bass drum in there, but for starters, let me just break down the rhythm for you that we're going to need. So if you want to keep it simple, just play that, but with the bass drum, it would sound like this. And then for the final 8 bars that the drums play in the song, we just move that pattern up onto the crash cymbals like this. Getting that kick drum in there is definitely a coordination challenge. So if you have to, just break it down and work on the kick drum in isolation, and then try and bring the hands back in over the top. But anyway, once we've played those crashes, that is the end of the song for the drums. So that's how you play Kitchen Sink by 21 Pilots. I hope it's been helpful. As I said, leave some stuff out if it's a little bit too tricky, but if you're up for the challenge, absolutely go for it. So happy practicing, guys, and I'll catch you at the next lesson.